This information is presented by Bluewater Auto Restoration. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is week 38 of the 2025 Bluewater Auto Restoration podcast. And we release new deep dives every Saturday morning. Today we're plunging into a topic that unites mechanics, DIY enthusiasts, and pretty much anyone who's ever picked up a wrench in, like a shared moment of exasperation. We're talking about the legendary mystery of, where is my 10 millimeter socket? Okay, let's unpack this universal frustration. If you spent any time working on a car, maybe assembling furniture, or even just tackling a small project around the house, you've likely encountered the phantom disappearance of this one particular tool. It's not just, a minor annoyance. It's basically a rite of passage. It spawned countless online jokes, exasperated sighs, and even some wonderfully wild theories about interdimensional portals and mischievous shop gnomes.
It's funny you mention that, because what's truly fascinating here is that while losing the 10 millimeter often feels like a personal curse, right? Like it's only happening to you, it's actually a universally recognized phenomenon. It really is. This isn't just about being clumsy or, disorganized. It's this deep-seated frustration, so common it goes beyond borders, language barriers, even different types of mechanical work. So today, our mission for this deep dive is to kind of move beyond the internet folklore, the memes, and truly understand the story behind this elusive 10 millimeter socket. We'll explore the practical, logical reasons why it disappears, delve into its surprising historical roots, and even touch upon some truly unverified, but let's be honest, highly entertaining theories that add to its mystique.
Exactly. And as we navigate this intriguing landscape, our goal is to explore why this specific size causes so much grief. We'll delve into the history of measurements that made it so crucial in the first place, and perhaps just maybe give you some aha moments about where your missing 10 millimeter might actually be hiding right now. Prepare to never look at your toolbox or, your lost tools the same way again. It's more than just a tool. It's a legend, and we're about to peel back its many layers. You know the feeling all too well. You're deep into a project. Maybe wrestling with some stubborn engine component, trying to reach a tricky hose clamp, or tightening down an interior trim piece. You reach almost instinctively for that crucial 10 millimeter socket, and poof, it's gone. Vanished into thin air, seemingly defying, the laws of physics. It's more than just an inconvenience. It's that genuine moment of despair, a sudden grinding halt to your progress. It's a scene that every single person who works with tools, from seasoned pros to weekend DIY warriors, has experienced countless times.
It really has, and this phenomenon, it raises an incredibly important question. Why the 10 millimeter specifically? Why not the 13 millimeter or the 8 millimeter or even a larger, more cumbersome socket? It's not just random chance. There are a confluence of very real logical reasons, alongside the humorous ones we joke about, that contribute to its consistent and, let's face it, maddening misplacement. The sheer frequency of its use, combined with its physical characteristics and how we interact with it, it almost creates a statistical inevitability for its disappearance. It's almost as if it's programmed to seek out the unknown.
So let's dig into these common causes, starting with what might seem the most obvious, but maybe the one that underpins so much of the mystery.
Exactly. The first, and honestly the most significant reason, is simply that the 10 millimeter is one of the most frequently used socket sizes out there, especially for modern vehicles, but also a vast array of other mechanical projects you might encounter. Think about a modern car. Everything from engine components, sensors, interior trim pieces, battery terminals, fluid reservoirs, brackets of all shapes and sizes. Even some suspension and brake components often call for a 10 millimeter. It's essentially the workhorse of the modern automotive world.
Right. It's just everywhere.
Everywhere. So because it's deployed so often, sometimes multiple times on a single task, it is, by pure statistical probability, the one most likely to be misplaced. The more an item is handled, moved, used in, let's say, chaotic environments, the higher the chance it won't end up back where it belongs. It's a simple numbers game, really, amplified by just how indispensable it is.
That makes perfect sense. It's like, you're far more likely to lose your house keys than, say, a ceremonial sword you keep locked away. One is used constantly, the other rarely. But it's not just about how often it's used, is it? It's also about how we use it.
Precisely. That's another major factor. We could call it convenience leading to misplacement.
It's incredibly common, almost instinctual, to take a ratchet with the 10 millimeter socket still attached and then just set it down nearby while you're working. Imagine you're under the hood, contorted into some impossible position, battling a stubborn fastener. You finally get the bolt loose, and in that rush of triumph, you pull the ratchet out, still clutching that victorious 10 millimeter socket, and just set it, maybe on the cowl or the nearby fender well.
Right, anywhere flat, basically.
Anywhere flat. And your mind is already on the next step, maybe getting the new part on. That 10 millimeter, no longer actively needed at that exact second, slips from your immediate attention. As tasks get more hectic, which they often do when you're deep in a project, that socket is often put down carelessly and then tragically forgotten. When you finally clean up, it's simply nowhere to be seen, lost in the chaotic efficiency of the moment. Oh, I can absolutely picture that. Playing out in my own garage, definitely. You're trying to quickly swap out a part, you just drop the ratchet and socket nearby. And then your attention is pulled elsewhere, maybe by another tricky bolt or even just a quick phone call.
Indeed. And then there's the almost, well, magical physics of the 10 millimeter itself, which makes it a perfect size for rolling away into oblivion. Its small, smooth, cylindrical shape, combined with its specific mass, creates this low friction contact point with most surfaces. When dropped, this allows it to retain significant kinetic energy, letting it roll further and accelerate into incredibly tight, intricate spaces with surprising efficiency.
Unlike bigger sockets, right? They just kind of thud and stop.
Exactly. Larger sockets are easier to spot. They tend to get caught on things due to their greater surface area and bulk. But the small cylindrical 10 millimeter, it can disappear in an instant without a sound. It just keeps rolling, often into the most frustrating, out-of-reach crevices, deep inside an engine bay, under a workbench, maybe even down a drain if you're unlucky.
So you drop a 19 millimeter, you hear it, you see it, it probably doesn't go far.
Right.
You drop a 10 millimeter, it's like a stealth missile. Gone before you even register the sound. Almost designed to evade capture.
It feels like it sometimes.
It's like it has a built-in escape mechanism, this uncanny knack for finding the least accessible hiding spots. And I'm sure many of us, with our various toolkits scattered around the house and garage, only make the problem worse.
No doubt. Another pervasive problem is what we might affectionately call the borrowing between kits phenomenon. Mechanics, whether pro or amateur, often have multiple sets of tools, right? A main rolling toolbox, a portable grab-and-go kit, maybe a household set, a vehicle-specific kit.
Oh yeah, the collection grows.
It does. And the 10 millimeter, being universally needed, gets borrowed frequently.
Yeah.
From the main set to the portable kit, or from the car kit to the household set, maybe loaned to a neighbor. And because it's so common, and you always assume you have another one somewhere.
You don't always put it back.
Exactly. It's often not put back in its correct or original place. It becomes this nomad, drifting from one job to the next, from one location to another, never truly settling. This constant migration makes tracking its home nearly impossible.
Guilty as charged, grabbing one from the car set to tighten something in the house, and then later thinking, now where did that one go? It's a cycle of convenience leading to confusion.
It really is. And then there's a slightly more dramatic, though thankfully less frequent, scenario. The sacrificed for a job instance. Sometimes a 10 millimeter socket gets irretrievably stuck on a bolt, maybe in a particularly hard to reach place.
Oh no.
Yeah, imagine a rusted bolt. Maybe it's a bit rounded or it's at an awkward angle deep within an engine and the socket gets wedged on. A mechanic might decide, after considerable effort and probably a few choice words,
Definitely some choice words.
that it's simply not worth the time, the effort, or even the risk of losing a more expensive wrench or extension, or even getting hurt trying to retrieve that single, relatively inexpensive socket. It just gets left behind. A tiny monument to a completed, difficult task, a small casualty in the larger battle of mechanical repair.
So it's not always a mystery. Sometimes it's a calculated strategic retreat.
Yeah.
It's truly fascinating how these practical, almost mundane reasons just pile up into a phenomenon that feels almost supernatural sometimes. And that's exactly why it's become such a powerful cultural touchstone, right? That running gag amongst anyone who regularly uses tools. We've all seen the online humor, the jokes about shop gnomes, or even those micro wormholes you mentioned earlier. It's our collective way to cope with the shared frustration.
Indeed. The humor and the internet folklore are our collective coping mechanism, aren't they?
Yeah.
It speaks to a shared human experience of frustration, and there's a real comfort in knowing you're not alone in your battle with inanimate objects. That universal sigh, where's the 10 millimeter? It's like a secret handshake amongst mechanics and DIYers worldwide.
It really is.
It's a testament to how universally understood this particular mechanical pain point is. It turns what could be an isolating moment of annoyance into a kind of bonding experience, allowing us to find some levity in the loss.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The legend of the disappearing 10 millimeter socket isn't solely about clumsiness or our bad habits in the garage. It's deeply tied to a major historical shift in manufacturing. It's a fascinating story of global economics, industrial evolution, even national identity.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the widespread adoption and consequently the constant disappearance of the 10 millimeter socket is a direct byproduct of the automotive industry's massive transition, the shift from imperial to metric standards. This change didn't happen overnight, but its impact on what tools we use and consequently which specific tools we are most likely to misplace. Well, it's been profound and undeniable.
So let's talk about the birth of this common size, starting with those immense pressures of globalization and manufacturing that really set the stage.
Definitely. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, we saw this significant, really revolutionary shift. Major automakers, especially those with international operations, began to universally adopt the metric system for their designs and production. This wasn't just, an aesthetic choice. It was a strategic economic imperative. Companies like Ford, GM, Chrysler, alongside their European and Japanese counterparts, were rapidly expanding their global footprint. Imagine trying to manage a supply chain where parts for the same model car needed to be sourced or made in both inches and millimeters depending on the assembly plant's location.
A nightmare. Total nightmare.
Exactly. It's a logistical nightmare. Leads to increased complexity, higher costs, more errors. Metric offered a clear universal language for engineering, design, manufacturing. It streamlined part sourcing, assembly, international collaboration. It was really an essential move for efficiency in a globalizing economy.
And this standardization, this global push for a unified system, led directly to what you called the 10 millimeters explosion.
Precisely. As a direct and deliberate result of this industry-wide transition, the M6 bolt.
M6.
Yeah, M for metric, 6 for the 6 millimeter nominal diameter of the screw shaft itself, and almost universally, its head is sized to require a 10 millimeter socket. This M6 bolt became just a prolific workhorse across all aspects of modern car manufacturing. This wasn't arbitrary. Engineers found that the M6 offered a phenomenal balance of strength and size. It provided enough clamping force for a huge array of components, engine brackets, interior trim, battery terminals, sensors, even some suspension bits without being too